We want to focus on the global South because there's so much great work that we're seeing on a global part of the global cultural conversation from the global North, dominated by Europe, United States, Canada, et cetera. But many of us don't get a lot of understanding of what's happening in Fiji, for example, or Southeast Asia, for example. So a part of what we hope to do is bring those conversations into the global cultural conversation.
Those individuals who come to know that they have, a bridge to land, a place to land when they develop their talents across the globe.
Okay, cool. In modern day times, what can I do to play a part in documenting our history, our culture and heritage, and essentially where we come from, where we are, and where we are potentially going?
Peak is an interesting laboratory where we are bringing creators from all over the world and trying to create something new.
A film calling Being a Black Woman, which was done by a Swiss filmmaker, Rachel. A really good film. We'll actually be showcasing it on Saturday, and it's about being a Black woman. So what we wanted to do was take that, it was like a springboard, and take the idea and duplicate that in different parts of the world. And so we're just gonna cultivate like different women, different Black women, and talk about their stories. And the purpose of it is we want to showcase the similarities.
Well, in a nutshell, if I had one sentence, the Alma Film Festival is a conversation.
Good day, good people. Welcome to Daily Border Crossings. I am super excited about today's show. I know I always say that, but I'm super excited, seriously, this time. This is part 2 of the podcast episode dedicated to the Alma Film Festival. In case you missed that episode, which you will want to make sure you go and listen to, the Alma Film Festival is going down March 17th through the 22nd in the Dominican Republic. So what is the Alma Film Festival? Well, it's the first of its kind, and it's the first of its kind for 2 reasons. One, because this is the inaugural event. So this is the very first time that it's happening. But 2, it's also the first of its kind because it's unlike any other film festival that's been done. It's a pioneering sort of event. It's the first because it features filmmakers, actors, producers, and screenwriters, and more from the global South intentionally. It's a phenomenal event brought together by the multi-talented Anthony Page. I'm going to toss it to him first to tell the listeners and viewers about the festival. On the first call that we did for the episode for part 1, there were people in Fiji, Gambia, and Jamaica. Today we have guests who are in Finland and Lesotho, South Africa, if I'm saying that correctly, and some guests from the US that are in Atlanta. So Anthony, I'm going to toss it to you to just tell the viewers and the listeners a bit about what the Alma Film Festival is.
Well, in a nutshell, if I had one sentence, the Alma Film Festival is a conversation. I think we need to have deeper conversation with each other, which leads to connection. And from that, we get a greater sense of community. And from that, we believe we'll see greater collaboration, which opens the door for deeper cultural diplomacy and collective growth. We want to focus on the global South because there's so much great work that we're seeing on a global part of the global cultural conversation from the global North, dominated by Europe, United States, Canada, et cetera. But many of us don't get a lot of understanding of what's happening in Fiji, for example, or Southeast Asia, for example. So a part of what we hope to do is bring those conversations into the global cultural conversation. And again, even with Finland, even though it's in Europe, we don't hear about people like Chike Owanwe, who's done some great things across his career. So we're focused on the global South, but also looking at those pockets of the world where we don't get a lot of sharing and understanding of humanity.
Yes.
We're tech focused. So definitely looking at tech and how that's going to affect us, especially, representing the diversity of the world. We're audience centered because many festivals tend to be industry people talking to industry people. We want to get the audience more involved in the conversation. And then we're experience based. We hope one of our greatest goals is to lead with love in the best ways, and we hope people develop connections through the festival that outlive their festival experience. We want to be a counterbalance to maybe some of the division in the world, and maybe bring a little bit of, deeper understanding and sharing in the world in the most dynamic ways. We believe that'll impact positively the politics, the economics, and the cultural and the social fabric of the world.
Okay. Okay. And share, I was telling you about how much I love the website, how, first of all, it's just a beautiful website, but all of the information that you can go there and get weeks ahead, right? Like I've been looking at it for some time now. But one of the things I was looking at was the schedule. And by the way, what is the website? Can you tell people what that is?
Yeah, it's www.almafilmfestival.com, and that's ALMA filmfestival.com. And Alma is a Spanish word that means soul, because it's the soul of what we do. And that came from Diana. And you guys will get to meet her in a few minutes here. But the soul of what she is doing is what motivated what we're doing.
Yes. See, this is why I like talking to you. You go ahead and answer the questions that I was going to ask. I was going to ask for you to say what Alma meant. I knew, but I wanted you to tell everyone. But what I was saying, when I look at the schedule and seeing the built-in time for community, like there's so many things about this festival that make me excited. But who is spending the time, like building in time during the day for you to experience the Dominican Republic and have the people that are at the conference be a part of that instead of some like VIP, groups, like have everybody, like here's the schedule, here's the itinerary, and like, here's what we're going to be doing. And you can be a part of the different things. Just, not, I don't know. That seems like a special part to me also.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So mentioning Diana, I'm going to toss it to her next. I know you said that she brought you in. So I want to know, I want to talk about like what that was like, what this vision is. That it's about understanding from Anthony that you are, Diana, a rock star, and that there's a resort coming, and then there's this idea for this festival. So what is going on here? Well, and welcome to the show.
Yes, thank you. Thank you everyone for having me. I always enjoy an opportunity to come and tell about this special place.
Yes.
So, and while the place has absorbed the vision is really what it is. So I have worked in Fulton County Workforce Development. I chaired that committee in Atlanta for 7 years, and I worked with the committee for many more. And what it is an organization that's funded by federal funds that actually provide community partnerships. So what that is where you have a convergence of business and tech and community, and you find the needs of the community and you match it with those sorts of individuals who can provide services, training, job readiness, all those sorts of things to build a community. Because as you know, building a community is not about the brick and mortar, right? So as a developer, I'm a real estate developer, a lawyer for 3 decades turned real estate developer, but I've been in real estate development for about 20 years, and mainly in the Southeast. Buildings first started with flips and then build ups all the way down to or up to, you might say, commercial development. And so, but what makes that so special is when we marry communities, right? So in my development, I was able to build partnerships and build real estate in areas that were underserved. So
Okay.
whether it be in South Carolina and their college campuses where they don't have enough to support their students and housing and sustainable housing, or whether it's in Mechanicsville, Georgia, where the community has overlooked it and kind of built around it, we will go into those underserved communities and actually not only bring the brick and mortar, but we would bring the community partnership. So that's training, education, job readiness. And so when I found out about Samana, I've been to Dominican Republic before, but by God's divine order, I happened to cross the path of the Samana Americans, and I began to learn the story about how they align with who we are. So these are individuals who also sought community outside of the U.S. in 1824. So in that period of time, they did not have a sense of community in the United States. So a minister from Philadelphia and his congregation decided, look, we need to find a place outside of where we are, where we can build community, where we can live and grow and advance our culture and our children and provide opportunities. And they set sail on ships, and
Wow.
some of them landed in Samana, and due to the actual invitation for the then it's Hispaniola, which is the Haitian, formerly Haiti, that we would identify as Haiti. And they landed there and they brought their culture and they brought their skill sets, all the things that they knew about it. And they survived and they thrived. And as a result, they created this pocket of community in Samana. And it's not a nuance, because we've had that before. We've had that in Oak Bluff, where in Martha's Vineyard, where they gave them a little slither of land and they were able to develop it. Well, this is across the borders, right? And yet they created a community, proud community that they continue to develop and thrive and those sorts of things. So what I wanted to do in being a developer and developing abroad is bring community. So what we were doing is bringing culture, bringing jobs, bringing job readiness. And so when Anthony, as talented as he is, he's modest. I
So
said,
modest.
I can't do this. What I can't do, you can do, and you can do it in excellence. So because Samana was already known for film, but they were bringing in their laborers, right? They were bringing in the talent, not utilizing the community base that was there because they didn't have the training, they didn't have the access, those sorts of things. So what we wanted to do is provide an opportunity for those, not only locals, but to connect with the talent, the industry that is already thriving around them. And we've done that not only in film, but in every other area, whether it be hospitality, whether it be architecture, nursing, any of those things. But this is the film component. This is where I'm passionate, because as an entertainment attorney for several decades, this is where I live. This is my space. So I won't keep it long, but yeah, it's a mission that's wrapped around something that's very tangible. And the film festival is what it is. And soul, meaning soul, is not ethnicity. It is the soul of a person. And we believe at the core of people, we're all the same. And we should be able to live in fellowship and in community with each other. So that's the soul that we elevate. So thank you, Anthony, for giving it a voice, a name, and something of excellence wrapped around a vision. So,
Diana, thank you for, again, you answered so many questions. I still have others, because
that's that lawyer in me. I'm sorry. You try to anticipate what the judge wants before they ask the question. So,
but you did that. Listen, okay. You did it all. Like that was a very succinct description. And there's a story within a story. The Samana, how do you spell that? I want to make sure I can see it so I can say it correctly.
It's Sam Anna, Samana, Samana. And we love when we say it, because oftentimes when I came to this region, I would tell people I was going to Dominican Republic, and they said, "Oh, Punta Cana, Santo Domingo." I said, "No, Samana." And they would say, Samana. And I could not understand what that was about, but I know it now. Anthony knows it now. And he says it's a secret, but it won't be a secret very long, because it is a market that's thriving. And we are developing there as developers. Yes, we build real estate, but we build communities. So that's why we're
that's
here.
what one of the things I was going to say, from hearing you talk about like dealing in an area near an HBCU, it sounds like your buildings and your development and your locations are always intentional.
Yes.
Right.
Always intentional.
So you mentioned that the Samana, were doing film stuff, but they were bringing people in. Does that mean that like people were using their land and using their areas to shoot on location? Were they benefiting from it though? Were they? I hope.
I guess I'll toss that back to Anthony. But basically, you've seen Samana, you've seen Pirates of the Caribbean, Lost City, you've seen
Mm,
what is it? There's so many. Jurassic Park. It is an
what?
ecotourism. It is beautiful. It's waterfalls. It's authentic. I go on the beach and I will sit there for hours and be the only one that's on that beach, and it's just
Mm,
it feels like your own little paradise, and it is intentional.
Mhm.
And so when we build with that intentionality and making sure that we preserve the core of what it is. So not only for the Samana Americans, but all the people that travel there and visit there. We're often the last ones to learn about a destination. So I'm so blessed to have come upon it at the time that I can and was
yeah.
able to develop it. So Soul represents a group of investors and a core group of individuals who are working with local and other
Okay.
rock stars that are bringing this resort. Prayerfully, the first golf resort, the Grand K, is its name, and it will represent a first 18-hole golf course in that region. And so we're really excited about it.
I'm so excited for you and for
Yeah.
all y'all, for all y'all. Anthony, were they doing how was that like thinking about the Pirates of the Caribbean and of Jurassic Park? Like I've seen all those things, so I have seen it. Were the people able to, do you know enough about like how they could benefit from what was happening?
Well, yeah, it was kind of in American terms, we would see that as kind of the rural community, right? So there
Okay.
wasn't a lot of infrastructure. So even though the topography was beautiful and perfect for certain settings like a Jurassic Park or Pirates of the Caribbean, all of the infrastructure had to come from the major city. So the
Okay.
locals were kind of on the sidelines watching all of this great stuff happen, but it didn't really, outside of maybe hotels and restaurants, it didn't bring a lot of support to the local workers to be a part of what that is. So,
Okay.
so a
Okay.
part of what we're doing is we're going to,
Take that
we're
back.
working with the Film Commission and Tourism and start
Yeah.
building in some job training. Starting them low with production assistance, understanding how to navigate a set and grip department, but then over
Mm-hmm.
time begin to anchor more. So now if I'm filming in that area, I don't have to go 2 hours away to bring in everything that I need. There'll be some resources and some infrastructure locally, and having the locals benefit from it. And that was the most exciting part for me. That many
Yeah.
sometimes these big developers will come in and they're more extractive, but
Exactly.
Diana's
That's
approach is
that's
very integrative. She's doing more than she has to, just like with the job training, focusing on their history, really reaching deep into the community and bringing those locals into the conversation. Not, hey, I'm a real estate developer, this is what I'm going to do. It's more like,
mm-hmm.
hey, what do you guys need and how can we build that into our blueprint? And that's why I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm in. I love what that represents.
Yeah. Same. I was thinking about exactly what you said, how developers so often come from the outside. And I know a story that some people I'm sort of working with some situations in Charleston from years ago and some fights that are still going on and some people who just came and swooped in and didn't want to involve the people at all. As soon as Diana started talking about what she's doing, I felt excited in my heart because I'm like, I just saying like this looks, going by visuals and going by what you said, Anthony, but I'm like, this is, um, it just feels like the right kind of situation and the right kind of person with the right kind of mindset to develop with the people in mind. Okay, I will.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. I am going. I hope if anybody let me know if because of time differences you'll be having to hop. But outside of that, just because of the order of who is on my screen, I'm going to move to Chike. So Chike, so Anthony mentioned one of the things being that you're the first person to receive, I hope I'm saying this correctly, a Jussie Award, which would be sort of the equivalent to an Oscar in this country. This is exciting that
Mhm.
you're going to be at the festival, but I'd like to hear from you talking a bit about your role, your part in this festival, a little bit about yourself and what you do, and what your plans are for just being a part of Alma.
Oh, hello everybody. My name is Chike Ohanwe. Glad to be here.
Thank
Um,
you. Welcome.
it is the afternoon, so I have plenty of time to spend with you guys. The trip, the journey with Alma Film Festival and Anthony has been very fulfilling thus far. And me personally, I'm an actor. I'm a singer here in Finland, Helsinki, and yes, the Finnish film industry has, for long, being extremely white.
Okay.
Um,
Not so different from the United States once upon a time. Keep going.
indeed, indeed.
Yeah.
But luckily, due to the fact that there is an influx of diverse people coming to this country and also rising in ranks when it
Okay.
comes to kind of the socio-economical ladder in this country, there's more representation, even though things have been moving a bit slowly in this country. But in the past 10 years, a lot of things have changed, and I have been very lucky just to do something that I wished happened in my youth. The fact that I won the award was something that
Okay.
I would have wished for myself if I was if when I was starting, because
Okay.
when I started my acting career, there was a big feel of whiteness and otherness that I was entering and hoping to make people of color into actual people instead of having to represent a group of people.
Got it.
So a lot
Got
of
it.
things have happened in a very short time, which I'm very pleased.
Yes, awesome. Well, I
Yeah.
didn't say this at the beginning, but Daily Border Crossings, it's a show about othering. I created this podcast intentionally to talk about people, to talk about movements, experiences, and spaces where people feel like they have to sort of leave pieces of themselves outside and cross the border each day to be in a space. You can't bring your whole self there. What are those stories and pieces like and experiences like? This whole film festival fits perfectly with the show. Can you tell us the name of the what movie or what film was it for which you won the award?
It was a movie called Aurora. It was a movie called Aurora.
Okay, and what does that mean?
Aurora is the name of the main character in the movie.
It's the name of the person. Got it.
Yes, it's a name of a person.
What was your role in that?
I was I was a supporting actor. The story is about this girl from Lapland who falls in love with a refugee,
Okay.
and I was cast as this stereotypical racist white guy, but it was
Oh,
played by me, who was not very keen on housing a refugee in his house. And since I'm very familiar with these kind of personalities, I could embody this this individual
particularly
to
hot.
the extent that I was awarded an award with it. So,
Wow. Now I am very interested in seeing this movie with your role as such. Okay, in terms of the film festival, I know you are part of what's being called Actique. Can you tell us about that?
Actique is an interesting laboratory where we are bringing creators from all over the world and trying to create something new. It is a very
Okay.
broad. It is a very broad adjective, but what I've been centering on is, since we're trying to find something very authentic, and acting is everything. Acting is very much about connection.
Mm-hmm.
The way that I've been going towards this is I've actually been searching for what is real and what I base my acting on, and it is very
Okay.
much connection, rootedness, and the way that I personally gather my confidence is through my meditation and spirituality, and understanding that I am not an individual, but actually a part of my blood lineage.
Okay.
So whenever I'm in need of wisdom that I don't hold in myself,
Mhm.
I try to go into my meditation and actually tap into my ancestry. And more importantly, I have conversations with my deceased grandfather who I've never met.
Okay.
Well, basically, the Alma Film Festival, there's a bunch of people who are, some are very othered, some are very
Hmm.
connected with the roots of where they are.
Yes.
Uh, I think that the connective tissue is that the ones that are very connected to their own culture are extremely connected. Then there are people who are disconnected, and I think that one of the superpowers of those kind of people is the seeking of connection and the seeking of roots. Now, when you use that power of seeking and the necessity of being a part of a bigger whole, I think you can funnel that energy into in deep meditation and in deep concentration. You can funnel that energy into a deeper pool of what you are and your ancestry that is a part of you all the time, and and people that are around you. And when it comes to me, uh, a dark-skinned man in a very white country, I noticed when I was a younger boy that instead of praying to God when I needed answers to existential questions, I was actually asking these from my deceased grandfather, and I felt that he was very much a companion on my journey of growth, and I've had a lot of he has given me a lot of power and a big sense of meaning and an understanding that I
Mm,
am very much a part of a lineage, not just an
right.
individual. So I'm hoping to create some kind of a path for other people to tap into their own roots on a very spiritual but also a very tangible way, in bringing these ancestral powers to the forefront of your performance, and then tapping into something powerful that can then be shaped on the stage to resonate with the audience, hopefully.
I I love that you use that and bring that into your acting. I find that some people who maybe would tap into something like that or looking into their lineage and things might be something that they keep separate from their work. This is something that you bring with you and use it in your acting. And I love that hearing you say that you're not just an individual, um, and that's a part of who you are and what you're bringing. Um, Anthony, did you want to add any more about Actique itself?
Yes, in the world of acting, we're very Eurocentric, which is great. But we wanted to add to that conversation because it's the influence of Russia, it's the influence of the Greeks, it's the influence of the French, it's the influence of the British. But what about the rest of the world? So we want to bring the Southeast Asia, the South Pacific, the Caribbean, the South America, the Africa, their cultural leanings, their human essence into how a story could be told in terms of an actor. And it's like maybe create a new system because it means something to be a classically trained actor or a Shakespearean actor, but some of us may be left out of that conversation because we have to be, maybe pulled away from maybe the deepest essence of who we are to be more European, as opposed to me, who has a lot of African,
Right,
ancestry and
exactly.
ethnicity. And so let me amplify that. Or if I'm a brown person, or if I'm a woman, or if I'm a, South Asian person or an island person,
Right.
so that's what we hope to do is just bring more aspects of humanity into human sharing, into storytelling, and hopefully create something new. So the goal is we will just kind of experiment learning from each other and try a lot of new things, and then we'll build short productions around it to kind of show the audience of what we plan to do. We hope to do our first presentation in Atlanta in September. We'll bring those actors from around the world and do a presentation, collaborating with, Morehouse College and the AUC campus so they can see the first kind of actual manifestations of the experiments that we're doing with these actors. And we have actors from with Jamaican background, with Filipino background, Polish background, Vietnamese background, Bahamian background, and then and actors from America. And their variety. Some are untrained, never been to a film school or a theater school, and some have gone to NYU and Penn State. So we got a wide range of talent coming into that. So it's an honor to have Chike as a part of it. He's contributing also as one of our board of advisors because he brings so much to the table into that conversation, into that ecosystem.
Awesome. Thanks. Mentioning the range, I remember on part one, you talked about having the kind of people who have been kind of a one-man show until they can get things off the ground to people who have a whole team. And so it's interesting to see from NYU up and down. I next on my screen, Shades of Cinema. Okay, so I believe this is Sydney. As we're talking about, since we're talking to Chike, who's in Finland, I'm going to keep it kind of with the European theme because you're going to be talking about or sort of directing the conversation. With the documentary done by the Swiss woman. Is that correct? Can you talk to us? Welcome to the show, and talk to us about your part with the festival.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you for having me on the show. So I contribute with, I'm gonna be the director of a film calling Being a Black Woman, which was done by a Swiss filmmaker, Rachel. And the actual name of the movie, I guess in Swiss, is Je suis Noir. And so it's a very intimate film. You got to watch it. It's a really good film. We'll actually be showcasing it on Saturday, and it's about being a Black woman. So what we wanted to do was take that. It was like a springboard, and take the idea and duplicate that in different parts of the world. So we're gonna do one in Atlanta. We were thinking about doing one in Washington, D.C., thinking about doing one in New York. Yeah. And so we're just gonna cultivate like different women, different Black women, and talk about their stories. And the purpose of it is we want to showcase the similarities, but also celebrate Black women, since, Black women in film right now is really a big thing. But also, it's really talking about the similarities. And so we'll see each other in each of these different parts of the world. And
Okay.
yeah. Mhm.
And then you are in Atlanta, is that correct?
Yeah, I'm in
You're in
Atlanta.
Atlanta. Okay.
Yeah.
And then how did you come to be a part
Yeah.
of
So
part of
my
this festival?
company is Shades of Cinema. Me and Anthony actually met at a event called Signify, which is also that's by a Black woman, Alana. She'll be at the Alma Film Festival as well. But we met. I had a movie on there. He had a movie on there. My movie was Gotcha. It was one of my movies that I did back in 2023 about microaggressions in corporate America we all experience as a Black person. And so
Absolutely.
we connected with through that. And
Okay.
ever since then, I've been on, the team at Alma Film Festival. Like, so yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. So Rachel, so you've seen what can you share some things in terms of the Rachel's experience that you thought, I wonder if there's any differences between what she did being somebody like a Swiss, you've seen this through the
Yeah.
lens of a Swiss person. You see, what can you say about her film?
So while watching the movie, it was really powerful. Like one of the scenes that I loved about it so much is that it was different it was different women, different Black women. They showed their
Okay.
experience about there's one that lives in a town where it's like predominantly white, and so it's like
Mhm.
she's trying to figure out where she actually fits in. It's like because she's
Okay.
like and really you will see that a lot in people that's probably mixed Black and white.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, where do I fit in? Do I fit into the Black side of me? And it's like you go over there and it's like not quite, and then you go to the white side and it's like not quite. So she identified it, her story in that film. And
Okay.
one of the things that I did love is that she encouraged women to look in the mirror, to actually see themselves in the mirror. And you can see by all these different women when they actually looked in the mirror, it was like it was emotional. It was like it was very emotional for them to see themselves in the mirror. But one of the
Yeah.
things that I connected with on the film is that, just like being in the United States, you have racial slurs as being a Black woman. Experience
Mm-hmm.
some type of like just like I said in the corporate America spaces where it's like microaggressions or less than you're looked as less than of being like a Black woman in the corporate spaces. Um,
Right.
Also like just a lot of different variations of just experiencing like some sexism as well as being a Black woman. She showcased a little bit of that.
Okay.
So it's you see a lot of similarities, like I said, even though it's a
Yeah.
country, they speak a different language, but it's like, dang, I experienced that too. So, yeah, I really enjoyed that piece. Mhm.
Okay. It made me think a lot about colorism is
Yeah,
everywhere,
that's
no matter where you
yeah.
are, right?
Mhm.
And sometimes when you're not biracial, you're
Right.
feeling it just from being light skinned or dark skinned or all these beautiful shades of brown. Okay. All right. I'm excited about that discussion. Thank you. I'm glad that you'll be leading that.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for whenever you're gonna do this in the Washington D.C. area.
Yeah.
All
Definitely gotta
right,
connect.
exactly. Okay, so last but certainly not least on my screen, just going in order, Jaden, a filmmaker, and I'd like for you to talk about what you're doing. Thank you for your patience until we got around to everybody to get to you. But talk about what you're doing. So you're in South Africa, or you're actually in Lesotho, right? I'm going to make sure I get that right.
Lesotho.
Lesotho. Okay. And so you're a filmmaker there, and you're being a part of this film festival. So thank you. Welcome to the show, and tell us about your part in this.
Thank you very much for having me and this beautiful chance for me to speak finally. So as with Alma Film Festival, I was made aware of it actually before Alma. It was Dandelion Institute of Film and Television. And one of my partners from Snake Nation contacted me. Hey, here's an opportunity. I think you should take it up if you're interested in it. And then quickly, I remember it was 2 days before the deadline. And then quickly, I prepared my things, and good thing my application was accepted. Then I was able to get in. And then fast forward, we're moving into Alma Film Festival. And with that, I'll be showcasing a short documentary film that is gonna be episode 1 of 10 episodes. 10 episodes. So essentially, what the documentary is about, as someone who loves culture and who's quite observant, I've came to realize that much of our culture and history as Basotho in Lesotho, it's getting lost, and that is essentially because we haven't really written anything as far as our history is concerned. I mean, we have a great king who's the founder of our kingdom, but as far as things has been documented, we only have as far as King Moshoeshoe the First, who is the founder of Basotho Nation. And so to me, I'm like, okay, cool. In modern day times, what can I do to play a part in documenting our history, our culture and heritage, and essentially where we come from, where we are, and where we are potentially going. So this short documentary is one of my first steps into actually documenting our history, culture, and heritage as Basotho, for Lesotho.
Awesome. So, hearing you mention that you love culture and realizing how observant you are, noticing things that are getting lost, I think it's commendable. Number one, that you were like, all right, okay, so what can I do about this? Like, how can I capture these pieces of culture that seem to be could be lost if not for you documenting them. So you're showing one episode, you said, of 10 episodes. Is this a finished documentary? Is it ongoing?
No, it's an ongoing documentary. So far we just completed the first episode,
Okay.
which we gonna use to seek for funding in order for us to be able to produce the remaining 9 episodes.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
And then are you able to shoot where you are? Like, do you have to go anywhere in terms of location, or are you shooting right in Lesotho?
Yes. Everything we are shooting it in Lesotho. However, there are some bits and pieces here where we are just able to just cross the border and film a few things in South Africa. Because in Lesotho, we have Basotho who live in Lesotho, and then we have a huge majority of Basotho live in South Africa.
Okay. Thank you. So this to me, Anthony and Diana and kind of everybody on the call, taking what Jaden is saying, this all speaks to what this festival is. Like where this culture, first of all, I wouldn't have known this was going to allow me and so many other people to learn about this history and culture. Jaden, from the story that you're telling about the Lesotho, the area, the people, and the histories. This is also personal for you to because it's your community. All these pieces, and then thinking about Anthony's idea of wanting to make this about people in the global South, and Diana's idea to bring this together because of the Samana people, all of these pieces, and then Sydney's being able to help tell the story of the person who Rachel and her documentary, and then Chike, and all these pieces are fitting together so well. And I was just saying to Anthony yesterday that the amount of creative talent, creativity and talent that's going to be in one place for all those days, like it's I can't even think. I don't even know what's going to come out of this. In the interest of time, I want each person to say what they're hoping will come out of either being at the festival or just being a part of this experience. Like, what are you looking to get from it, or what are you hoping will happen after it or because of it? And then the second part will just be actually for you to share any messages of things you have going on or ways of contact, ways that people can reach you. So I think I'll go in the reverse. Jaden, since you patiently waited so long, I'll come back to you and ask you, what are you hoping comes from this?
It's quite a number of things,
Okay,
and
share them all.
big things only. From the festival, what I'm really hoping to achieve is to well, one is already inevitable to for me to be able to showcase my work to a global audience. And another would be the opportunity to network and
Yes.
build relationships that are global and continue learning from other experts who have been doing what I'm doing for quite longer,
Okay.
and build those solid relationships so that what is it? I can have the proper guidance towards the goals that I'm trying to reach. Because one thing I've learned is one can be highly talented or skilled, but if there isn't a direction, then all of that potential goes to waste. And I'm really looking forward to collaborations as well, because we try to build a global community. So I think it's only best that after now we have a solid community, we can have projects or films coming out of Lesotho and Fiji. We have producers from South Africa and America working on projects together. So I think in a nutshell, I'll just say that.
Thank you. You said a lot in that nutshell. Thank you. So working backwards, Sydney.
What I'm hoping, there's a multiple things too, but one of the things from the movie itself, I'm hoping to bring in unity. I
Okay.
want people, Black people specifically, to feel like we're all one, honestly. I know we're not monolithic, but I feel like with colonialism, we have been separated and we have been taught to hate each other in different cultures. So I'm hoping through like a film we can see like the similarities and bring in unity. But
Yeah.
also personally, I would like to, of course, get more collaboration, more
Mm-hmm.
lifelong fellowship with people, like-minded people. So that would be great. And as far as like projects with Shades of Cinema, this is the main one, Becoming a Black Woman. and then
Yes.
also some different projects that I'll be doing. So you can follow. This year I'm hoping to document the journey as well as the actual product. So you can see all that at Alma Film
Yes.
Festival on their social media as it pertains to this documentary, and personally with Shades of Cinema as well. So yeah.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Thank you, Sydney. And then Diana.
Yeah. Well, what I want to see happen is I want to use the vision and the access that I have been afforded to create a soft space for people of all races to land. And so what being in Samana and it already being a mecca of film and creativity, I want these particular creatives to know that if they want to film in Samana and they see that there is they have a connection. They have someone they could reach out to and say, hey, there's a space that we can go to. So I want to be more infrastructure, more
Mm,
accessibility and a soft
mhm.
place for those individuals who come to know that they have, a bridge to land, a place to land when they develop their talents across the globe. So I know they'll get there, and I know this will be an elevation point for them. But we'll still have a place in Samana as long as I'm there. So that's what I want.
Thanks, Diana. Chike, I lied because I didn't go completely in reverse. Sorry.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna toss it over to you now.
Um, I'm hoping to enjoy the cross pollination of ideas with very interesting people, and be inspired to do something that I have not been able to even imagine. Connecting with like-minded people, doing cool things, because I've noticed that just following the idea of cool leads you into unexpected places. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Awesome.
Um, if you're looking for me, I'm on Instagram, Chike Chike and I'm working on my own homepages, chikeohanwe.com. They'll be launching very soon.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Chike. So you got that ball started. I just want to say that I heard cross-pollination, collaboration. Sydney said we are all one essentially, and what colonialism has done, all this separation. And then Jaden talked about the culture and history and togetherness. And Diana, as long as you're there, they have a space. Like, this is just this is just such a powerful episode of people who care, and bringing this together without the need for outside influences, having to depend on this and that. I mean, like Danny mentioned earlier, that soul is about all of us. It's not about ethnicity. So it's not about intentionally leaving out, but it's about not relying on certain groups of people. Just thinking about colonialism and all of that, I am so excited about the power that exists here in this on my screen, and about this festival, and that people are like, all right, let's rely on each other. What can we do as Black and Brown people, and what can we bring, and what can we create? And it's all this is what I feel like is happening. Anthony, I didn't ask you what do you expect to get out of this,
Yeah.
but go ahead, please.
Yeah, I think everybody nailed it, and you can see that amalgamation of ideas. The Alma
Yeah,
Film Festival is
already.
not my idea. The Alma Film Festival is an aggregation of all the best ideas. Like I said, Alma Film Festival is a conversation. We've been having conversations with Diana and with Sydney and with Chike and with Jaden, and we bring the best of those ideas into this overall ecosystem. And we've been
Mm-hmm.
fortunate. We've tapped into something that's larger.
Mm-hmm.
Because I came
Mm-hmm.
to this 2.5 years ago transactional. Okay, I'm good at organizing events. Let me organize the heck out of this event and do a good event. About halfway through the process, I realized there was something spiritual running parallel to it, because there were things
Mm.
happening. There were things happening that weren't direct proportional to my efforts. I'm like, wait a minute. And then I would do a little something else, and then something would happen. I would do a little something else. I'm like, oh, okay, there's something bigger here. And it's still becoming clear to me. What I'm starting to recognize, I think it's a renaissance of reclamation. There's a small group of people that have taken a lot from the world, and it's not just about race. It's just selfishness and greed. And I think
Mm-hmm.
people are
Mm-hmm.
reclaiming some of that. People are from culture to economics to politics in a lot of different ways. So through that renaissance of reclamation, it connects to our principles. It's like we need to have deeper and better conversations with each other, which leads to that connection and a greater sense of community. And then I think organically collaboration will come out of that. Then we'll see culture diplomacy, collective growth. That's what we want to support in the world. We've been fortunate. Like I said, with the little infrastructure that I have at Blue Bistro Creative, which is my company, we've built up a coalition of stakeholders in 52 cities around the world in 35 countries. And that shocks me.
That is something. Okay.
And I would love to pat myself on the back and thinking, look at what I did. But like I said, we've tapped into something because having this conversation, and they said, hey, let me connect you with this and connect you with that. And we're saying some of the same things in so many different parts of the world in different ways in Fiji and Jamaica and Honduras and Finland and South Africa. It's like, okay, there's a larger narrative that's kind of circulating the globe. So we just want to be a place every year that those conversations are supported, that we're intentional about trying to connect people, because we did lose a lot, because of colonialism. And I think people are reclaiming that. Like I said, we're not against anything. We're saying that we can add to the world, add to the sharing of humanity, add to the global cultural conversation in a beautiful place like the Dominican Republic, who are doing a lot of things well, the #1 tourist destination in the Caribbean, #1 film production center in the Caribbean. Their community has stepped up in a profound way. Film Commission, the tourism department, 3 mayors, the governor, the senator, they want us there. And I'm very excited. So we're going to be a part of helping them build out infrastructure that we hope Alma Film Festival through the Dominican Republic can become a gateway, into the global South. Like you want to go to Alma every year because there's a convergence of energy coming there every year to showcase this vast diversity of humanity that's happening across the global South in cinema in a healthy environment. We're not a respecter of persons. I want to treat the person who's helping me set up the tables just as well as we would treat the top celebrity. That's the vibe. And Diana co-signs that, that spirit. Again, that's why I wanted to align with her and what she's doing. And so I'm grateful for Chike. I'm grateful for Diana. I'm grateful for Sydney. I'm grateful for Jaden and the more than 140 people that are stakeholders in this whole ecosystem that are contributing in so many different ways, large and small. So we're very excited about what's going to happen in a couple of weeks. And I think, Sam, I'll close with this. You said it. I came hoping to get those big boys involved, but I think maybe the spirit has a different idea because we didn't get the big boys involved. And look at what we were able to do. This is going to be a very dynamic festival, and we didn't get the big players who can maybe dictate what they want instead of now we get to kind of organically create something that maybe best preserve the things that are important to us.
Something that's like, this is almost bringing tears to my eyes, tears of joy. But I'm thinking about, being at Harvard, and there are some certain big names all the time. Somebody either that's already there, somebody that was coming through, but it would be those small groups of us that really made the real change. All the stuff that was happening and the groups that I would be in and the things that I would help lead. We're not always about these big names. What I'm feeling about this too is this sense of freedom, because when I think about like Sundance and stuff, or if I take it out of film for a second and think about being in leadership as a Black woman or Black and brown people, you always feel like, what do they want? Like, what kind of film do I need to make that they need? Or what do I need to bring that they're interested in? How do they want me to show up? This feels like y'all are saying, bring who you are. What do you want to show us? Like, what do you have? And there's this freedom in that where you don't have to validate, you don't have to prove, you don't have to see what somebody else wants, but like, what is it in your spirit of your Blackness and your brownness the stories that you want to tell? And that makes me so excited for this long term. Like, that people know that there's a place for them to be their authentic selves. And, so this just feels like, a place for that, for authenticity to show up. So anyway, that is a takeaway for me. What I see and what I hope.
Yeah. A renaissance of reclamation with that buzzword.
There you go. Right. Reclaiming. Renaissance of reclamation. Thank you. We will end on that. TKO. So that's where we find you on Instagram. Jaden, do you want to share where we can find you?
Yes, of course. I am K_Khotso, KE_KHOTSO on Instagram.
Okay.
And if you'd like to follow I'm actually a founder of a creative agency here in Lesotho called Space Agency Africa. You can also find us on Instagram as Space Agency Africa, and our website is www.spaceagencyafrica.com.
Writing that down now. Awesome. Okay. Thank you so much for that, Sydney.
And the Grand K, because that's going to be our home, which is going to give us a lot of operational efficiencies in the future. Is that Diana is building this platform that we've created into the fabric of what she's doing with her real estate development, and saying, hey, this is your home. So year after year, we'll be able to do more because, we'll have those operational efficiencies. We don't have to go and set up and tear down in a weekend. We'll have time to really, develop the fullness of what this is. So I'm grateful for that. That's going to give us the opportunity to do a lot more as time goes on, because we have that cornerstone partnership with that real estate development is called the Grand K.
The Grand K. That's what you said. Okay.
Yes,
Is that
CAY.
what's like? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It's THE Grand GRANDCAY and .com. And yes, you're right. It is a major development. And what I have, like I said, as long as I am in leadership, I want to carve out a space where the Alma Film Festival can find a place, not only for the week, hopefully it's a week, 2 weeks festival that it evolves into, where they can come, because what it is, it's an experience destination. So we're talking about beachfront line beaches. We're talking about casinos and 4 hotels, and
Oh, wow.
it's a whole ecosystem. So definitely go to the website and see what it is. You can also follow me on Diana Grissett. I kind of jumped ahead of someone. I'm sorry, Anthony did that, wasn't me. Diana Grissett is DIANA Grissett GRISSETT. Sam ETT. And that I am on Instagram, and just follow the journey. It is really, it's intentional. It is provisional and providential, and it's led by God, because I tried to do it on my own. I used to have the audacity to say God had my back, and I landed on my back. So now I know that God goes first, and where he goes, where he leads, I will follow. So that's where we are going to drive this mission, and it is going to be a resort of inclusion. And even as we develop this, I came upon this particular resort. It was 4 years in front of me, and it had its partners and its players, and by divine order, they needed someone to bring in the partnerships, the hospitality, the golf, the music, the film, all the things that's going to give the vibrancy of this particular resort. And they found me. God led them to me, and because of what I had experienced before, I was reluctant. But when you allow God to lead and you go on purpose, it changes the whole narrative, right? And so I'm just asking God to let me not be Moses, but let me be Aaron, and let me see it in the land of the living. Don't let me just watch it and see it come to fruition. We're going to do this. We're going to build this on warp speed, and with all of your help and all of your connections, because we want to be here to enjoy it. We want to be able to not only leave it as a legacy for our kids, but I'm a little seasoned, probably more than anybody on this call. When TK said he wished he had gotten it in his youth, I wish I had gotten this in my youth. But I just pray to have enough willpower, enough purpose, and enough vision to be here to see it come to fruition. And so I'm excited about seeing you guys in my paradise, Samana. And hopefully you'll feel about it as I do about it. It's really a special place.
Diana, we are going to name that and claim that you are going to see it all. We will claim it. Yes. Thank you for all of that. And Sydney, I guess that means we go out on you.
You guys can follow me on my journey at Shades of Cinema on all social platforms: Instagram, YouTube, Threads, every single thing, Facebook.
All right, Shades of Cinema on all the platforms. Okay. Well, again, this film festival, the Alma Film Festival, it's March 17th through the 22nd. It's in the Dominican Republic. All the details and everything are at almafilmfestival.com. And I'm just grateful to every one of you for being on the show today. You've got all these contacts, all these people that you can reach out to find out more. And you also just go to this conference, everything that to this festival, everything that you need to know is on the website. I find it to be incredibly reasonably priced, especially for all the things that you're getting. That you can see what's happening each day. That's on there. You get to see some films. You get to meet some people. You get to be a part of the experience. So I'm highly encouraging everyone to go. If you haven't got any tickets, go get them because you need to go and you need to be there. Like, especially to say that you were in on the very first one, because this is only the first one, right? This is only the beginning. There's so much more to come. Again, thank you to everyone for being on the show, and thank you listeners and viewers for being a part of another episode of Daily Border Crossings. I will see you next time.
All right, guys.
Thank you.